Hi pilots and co-pilots, Brian here. It's been a while. Today, here we are at the absolutely amazing CYYC airport. Freeware, developed by the Canada for X-Plane team and available for download on xplane.org. I will provide the link below the video, so go get that. This is where we're starting today. Today we're flying from CYYC to KSFO, San Francisco International. Now, the reason why I'm excited, as you can see here, we are flying the 737-700. It's developed by the same team who developed the 737-900 and is based off the Zibo work as well for the 737-800, which was the original exciting release as part of X-Plane 11 and his work there in reworking that. So I wanted to take this out for test flight since it got released a couple of months ago, I think. And I haven't had a chance till now. I've been pretty busy in real life, so we're going to do a full flight today. So it'll probably be in two parts. This video we're going to go through and program it on SimBrief, have a look on the route on SkyVector, get it programmed in, program the FMC, taxiing, full takeoff, full flight. So come along for the ride or jump to the bits that interest you if you just want to see the flight or you want to just check the plane in action, then by all means do that. So we're going to get going with getting this plane up in the air. So we can see the weather's looking a bit crappy today, which is a bit unfortunate, but we'll check that out as far as the flight route goes in a minute. So we're going to switch over to SimBrief and get ourselves a route sorted. So actually this isn't SimBrief. I thought first of all I would pick a real-ish route here. So I was actually on this flight last week, which inspired me to do this in the virtual world. So we'll be flying from YYC to KSFO there. So we're going to be doing a route similar to that. So we're going to be a mock version of WestJet 1508, although we'll probably be setting off slightly earlier than their start time during the day. So I've loaded up SimBrief. So if you look up simbrief.com, go and create yourself an account there. It's a great way for creating a mock flight plan, which is really handy for us. So we're going to start very quickly on this. So we're going for WJA 1508. We're going to leave CYYC and we're going to go to KSFO. So if you're unsure of what real world flights or you want to try a different airline, that's a great way. Go to flightplan.com, look at the airline or look at the airport that you're interested in flying from with that airline, and it will give you some of the routes they go to. Great way to inspire yourself to find somewhere to fly. I'm not going to worry about what the Zulu time is. Of course, remember, if you want to make this accurate, then you'll pick your Zulu time to be however many hours ahead Zulu is from where you are in the world. So for me, right now that's 7 hours, because although my hours difference, we're on or summertime, so we're 7 hours shifted from Zulu. Airframe, can pick, you see I have everything in here. We want a 737-700, so that one there. I guess the details in there. We could put our registration in there. I'm not going to worry about it. Or the flight number. Or the call sign. You can put as much information to make this as realistic as you want. I'm going to say we've got 99 passengers on board. We're not full, but we're fairly busy. We also happen to be packing 6 tons of cargo of something I've been asked to carry. And we're going to have a ton of fuel. Not in the figurative sense, but in the literal sense. A ton of extra fuel. So that will do me. And it's got a route already. We'll just double check, analyze. Yeah, that's good. And it's got us leaving on 35 left and arriving on 28 right. So we'll be listening to ATIS when we actually get in the plane to make sure that that actually matches up to what X-Plane thinks. So here we can see our route comes down the coast. And then as you fly by, you get the beautiful view of Golden Gate Bridge. Or as I did the other day, got a beautiful view of clouds. So not always that exciting. So I've got that. I'm going to generate OFP. And done. Now I'm going to do what I always do is I do the print view PDF. and up it comes. So it's just pages and pages of printed text. If you've seen these before, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it's not as scary as it seems. Some interesting numbers here. You've got your takeoff weight. That never wants to be higher than the maximum. Your cost index, we're going to be using that. We're going to be using the average winds at altitude, so that's from 289,044 is the number of knots. Okay, what other things do we need? We need our altitude. We're going to be flying to 38,000 feet. Our fuel amount. We're going to use the fuel amount and then use that and then calculate what the rest of the weight on the aircraft will be to make a total estimated weight of 131,000 pounds. That's alternate. Hopefully we don't need that. And this is now our flight plan. We're going from 35 left, DCT means direct, so direct to Satov, then on Jetway Q890 to Roppler, then direct to Yummy, direct to Bordy, direct to Merlot, and then the Bodega 2 approach, which is now Bodega 3, I think. When we actually bring up charts later, things have moved on, but the nav version in X-Plane hasn't kept up, so it's Bodega 2 into KSFO 28 right. The next thing I'm going to do, which I like to do, is you take this, copy that into your clipboard, and now switching to SkyVector. Actually, I'm going to stop the weather there. Now, SkyVector is not a sim website. This is for real-world navigation. So don't go create an account. Don't go posting any flight plans or anything else. This is for real-world aviation. Very cool site. Really only for the US, but of course most of my flight is coming out from the US. So you can see we're Calgary there. We're going to be going south. So I'll bring up the flight plan button here. You just don't want to be saving or sending plan anywhere, because we're just using this for virtual stuff. But we can paste our entire text string there. I copied from the other thing from SimBrief. Look at that. It draws it very nicely on our map. Now if I click the weather button as well, I've selected some of these up here. You can do layers and you can choose what your maps are as well. But this one's good for now. So we can see there's some nasty storm weather just gone through in Calgary, and it's clearing up right now. And we've got some potential weather, although by the time we get there, most of that will have gone through. But we do have severe, moderate turbulence. There's a security alert there, but we don't have to worry about that. And then we're coming down into San Francisco. So what have we got up here? We've got, it's currently a 30 from, okay, 040, 13 gusting 19, 20 variable 80s, 15 steps. So we can see small amount of rain, showers, rain, showers, broken clouds at 3900, broken at 7,300. It's 8 degrees, and our altimeter is A3016. And we'll be checking out San Francisco again before we land. We'll be using one of the functions within the aircraft to get our weather. KSFO. Well, that sounds a bit nicer. We've got winds 280, 13 knots, 10 static miles, few clouds at 18,000, scattered at 20,000. So it's clear there. We're going to get a good view of the Golden Gate Bridge as we come in. Bingo. So back in SimBrief quickly. We've looked at the first 2 pages. Now I'm actually going to use, it's got lots of other additional information. We can look at the route again. That looks familiar. Then we've got our weather front information, and then our temperatures and wind speeds at different altitudes at 30,000, 34,000 and 39,000 there. And one of the things we'll then be looking at is a vertical profile and what the temperatures are there. That will help us. So it looks like we're looking at about a -57 for the top of climb. I'm just guesstimating based on what I see around here, about -57. And we used that when we're programming the FMC as well. So let's bear that in mind. Let's get in the cockpit and get going. That's enough of me talking about that. So as I was saying, this is a different aircraft. This is they've modeled this, the 737-700. It is different to the 737-900. We'll go over some details about the modeling of, or the versions of the 737 later. It's really cool. It has the touchpad over to the left. Doesn't have the heads-up display. It has a nice handle instead. Isn't that cool? So anyway, while I'm talking, let's get the plane doing important things. We'll put the power on. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to get the two IRSs aligning. We switch them both to now. I like to switch this round to this. Now tell me how many minutes I've got till the IRS is aligned. We've got 8 minutes, in which we can do some other stuff. But before we do, I'm going to start my service crew, and they're going to start cleaning and stuff. Oh, and then something else I'm going to do, and I click my ground services and get the GPU running outside. Now, oh, they've plugged it in, it's already powered, so I'm going to click. There we go, the alarm will stop now, we're not running off batteries. We have ground power. Let's just pop outside and have a look at that. That's all modelled. The sound is so cool. There we are. Look, the doors are open, they're busy loading. We've got our little GPU down there. And we can hear the cleaning crew busy cleaning before we start loading passengers. So let's go back to this again. We can set chocks, better pushbacks, all can be called from within here. For those of you that use that, we've got AV tab, which you can have charts and so on in there. I've got some already. Really handy, I guess, for those of you who might do VR headsets and stuff. I will probably still use mine outside. But that's very cool. We can look up airport info, so if we go to CYYC, it'll bring me up frequencies, tower frequencies, runway details, etc. Really handy. And there's a map as well, which can again be zoomed out and used in flight. So again, you don't even need to switch to an external app now to track your flight. You can do it right from the flight deck. How cool is that? We're going to sort fuel weight imbalances in just a second. You can customize and configure everything, display variants on all of this, exactly the different functionality. And when you want to switch from page 1 to page 2, click on the right arrow here and it takes you there. Audio features, there's different audio depending on which carrier you're with, your realism level. I like to pause at top of descent. Main reason is sometimes when I'm on a long flight, I will be away from my machine, and the last thing I want to know is I've gone into the ground. Is there anything on that one? No, there's some in the real world. Visual effects hardware. Now this, if you find when you start this plane and you are steering with your rudder to steer your nose wheel and it doesn't work, go into this menu and check the nose wheel axis. And you will need to set that probably to yaw. And if it does it again next time, it's because you will need to save your settings, which you go to the somewhere around here. You go back here. I think you go on to the second one. You can actually then save your aircraft configuration. You can adjust cabin lighting, so we can change for... I don't bother with this right now. But you can set your takeoff, landing, passenger area, entry area. It's completely... You can manually control your doors. But it will take care of some of that. And I would also like to, just before I go any further, go here for this. Because the people that have done this, it's an amazing job, and it's free. Of course, go give them a donation. So these are all the people who are involved with this. I have to say the Audiobird XP side he does with the audio. Sound for me is such a huge thing with these flight models. That really makes a big difference. So anyway, service crew are busy doing their thing. We're going to sort our fuel weight imbalances. So we've got a bit too much fuel in there right now. What did I say we should have? Okay, we should have 19,000. 19.0. And our takeoff weight, we're at 134.2. Is that close to what we should have? So we're supposed to be at 131.2. So it's near enough. And our takeoff center of gravity is going to be 23.6. We need that later. Right. Okay, let's just have a check. How's our IRS going? We've got 3 minutes. That means I've been chewing your ears off for 5 minutes now. Nav data out of date. I'm going to go to FMC. Now, for those of you that are freaked out by the FMC, it really isn't that bad. It really just takes you on a journey through all the different screens that you need to collect data for. If I go to menu, go to there and go to index, you can see it checks the ident information. It asks you for your position information, including your course, that you're going to follow, the route or route, whichever you want to call it. And it's going to ask you performance information, and then takeoff information, and then finally you can set some approach stuff, and then we're ready to go. So, first thing it's going to position. Where are we? We are at CYYC today. Put that in. We're at gate 95. Put that in. I'm going to go to the next page. I'm going to paste that into the clipboard there. Come back. And I'll put that in. Alright. Let's do... Alright. Notice it's kept CYYC back into my clipboard for me. We'll put that in there. Okay, what's our runway going to be? 35 left. And we are going to KSFO. And let's put that in there. Flight number. We can do that if we want. Let's do it today. I don't usually. WJ1508. Now this is where we sort her out. Now we could particularly have you got to look at your SIDs and stars as well with the departures and arrivals button here. We don't have a SID. We just have a direct to. But we will have a star later, so we'll deal with that. So let's have a look at our route again, shall we? So our route is direct to Satov, Q890 to Roppler. So let's do those. So we're going to go to SATOD. Then we're going to Q890 is our getaway. And that's going to Rockler. And I think it's a bit yummy. And then Bordy. Okay, and then our next one I think is to Merlot, which I happen to, because I've done this flight previous times, I happen to know that that's part of the part of the approach into KSFO. And you know what? I'm getting it. I think they should have finished cleaning by now. So I'm going to stop them doing that. And I think the passengers are probably going to start loading about now. But hang on, we can hear them loading. I'll just check I've got nothing further to go. Right, so I'm going to click on the arrival button here. KSFO arrival. Now we're 28 right. Bodega 2. Merlot. There we go. Now we're going to do Archie, Dunbar on Menlo. Let's go and look at a map. Find out the answer, shall we? So this chart I've used flightplan.com. FLTPLAN.com. Oh dear, everybody's loaded. flightplan.com, or you can get them from SkyVector as well if you're in the US. Flight plan's handy because it gives me Canadian charts as well. So don't print them out, just use them on your desktop. So we can see there Archie, so we're going to kind of come down here, come up to Archie, swing round, and then get lined up. We don't really want Dunbar, I think that's too close. Maybe, well then again, you know what, that's what I did the other day. Yeah, I think we'll go to, maybe to Archie. Where else would we have? I'll look at that on our flight. I could adjust it during the flight, actually. Because it would kind of be handy to come down here and then across there. We need a point almost down here, don't we? But anyway, I'll select Dunbar, actually. I'm going to select Dunbar. Okay. Oh. Selecting Dunbar. Legs. Okay, let's check everything adds up. Got to attach Merlot there to that free space there. So we clicked on Merlot and then we click on there. Joins the two together. Got the dreaded vector there. We don't have ATC to help us with that, so we're going to clear that one out of the way. Oops. Not clear. Delete. That out of the way. Then we're going to join that up to there. Page, next page. I think that's going to work. So we're going to click on activate. That's our flight plan now. And we'll double check that in a couple of minutes. Go back to init ref. There we go, 132. Flight level we're going to put, we said 380. Reserve of 1. Now I need to go and remember a couple of other bits of information. I've got to get our cruise wind information. I think I said our top of climb was going to be, was it minus 58 C? I'll just put that one in there. We need our cruise wind and our cost index. So our cost index is 17 and our cruise wind is 289.44. In fact, I could even wonder if I can do that. No. Oh, maybe. I'm going to copy that. We need to remember 17. Oh no, I can't do it. 289.44. I'm going to put 17 in for our cost index. Awesome. There we go. N1 limits. Right now, I'm going to cheat. I use that. It's probably around about that. Probably about 8 degrees. Oops. I have to put in the slash before. 8 degrees C. I'm going to derate the takeoff. Takeoff. We're going to go to 5 degrees of flap. 23 point, was it 2? Something like that. Ish. Trim is going to be 4.67. Close enough. I need to go to this page first. We're going to say, oops, it's a wet runway because right now it's raining. Stick these in. So we're going to be 141 is, there we've got V1, V rotate, and V2. So V2's 141. So we're programmed. That's it. We're ready to go. So I'm going to come up here. Imagine that'd be finished loading very soon. You know what? I've already got it programmed in. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my buttons. There we go. Just listen to
Calgary
80s.
International Information Kilo. 1200 Zulu weather. Wind 020 at 13 gust 19. Visibility more than 10, rain. Sky conditions 3900 broken, 7300 broken, temperature 8, dew point 0. Altimeter 3016.
3016.
Arriving runways 35 right, 35 left, departing runways 35 right, 35 left. Advise.
Okay. What was that again? 3016? Really should pay more attention. Right, so we'll turn this little dial up here. Now, if I remember rightly, yes, I've put one of those settings so I don't have to adjust both altimeters at the same time. Right, we're getting closer. We're going to set that's set straight up to 38,000. You know what? I'm going to leave it there. Turn my flight directors on. Even put the auto throttle arm on, but that doesn't matter for now. Okay, let's start prepping them. I'm going to put my window heat on. We're close enough now. I'm actually going to turn the probe to steady because I'm about to fire up my APU. And I'll put my anti-collision light on. And now we just got to wait for the GPU to start.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross-check and all calls.
Put my APU bleed on. And that sounds like we're fully loaded. Now, we have our ramp is attached right now. Just going to do my little cheat for that. Let the part brake off and back on, and that cancels that. And now, withdrawing. Okay, our door is now shut. We can actually go back there and have a look back there. Apparently you can't see any passengers. You can actually add them in. That is an option. But look at how well modeled it is back here. Beautiful. Look, that's haha. Looks like the real deal. Oops. And that's the view out the window. Get back up in the cockpit and carry on. Okay. We're now running on APU power. So that means we can go up here. I can get rid of my GPU. Okay. And they're busy giving their announcement back there, which is very nice. I need to talk to them in a minute. I shall put my... you know what? I'll let them deal with that. Run dual bleed. APU is now started. Duct pressure is up, and we're now running on APU power. Your damper on. Trim air on. I will be turning my packs off while I remember. I have to set them 38,000 feet on here. It has checklists all built in as well. We're going to have another look at that in a little while when we're in flight. You can follow all that through. I'm being fast and lazy today. Don't be me. Do it properly. Okay. I think we're looking good. Let's just check. Yeah, that's going to work. Can you see the tiller adjusting there for the nose wheel? That's good. I'm going to go back. Sounds like she stopped talking. I'm just doing my announcement apparently. Just have a listen.
Final preparation here for departure from the gate. Maintenance is wrapping up one final item that they needed to take care of before we depart. So pretty close to right on schedule today.
Oh, nice. I obviously put on quite the accent when I'm talking. Okay, I think we are ready for pushback. What do you think? Let's do it. So what we do is we go back, go into ground services, request pushback.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Well, I don't like that. That's better. Got a big 787 in next to us.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Okay, thank you. Here he comes. Cool. In he comes. I don't often watch it from this spot, so let's just check it out. Lowering down.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Cool. I don't think I've ever seen one of these in real life. I'm not sure how common they actually are, but it's very cool. Maybe they don't even exist, do they? Well, now I don't know.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake is released. I think. Maybe not. Hold on. Yeah.
Starting pushback,
That's
and you
better.
may start engines.
Not sure why that was. Back we go. And we're fully reversed.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Now, as always, in the world of media production, it's just not working for me today. For some reason, this is happening. It has never happened before, ever, in my life, I swear. Okay, I'll set that down. For some reason, that's adjusted back up there. That should be on 4.6. I don't know why I can't turn that off, so I'm going to have to terminate that, and hopefully he's gone, maybe? No? I just want to get rid of him now. One way or another, I just want that guy gone. Is he gonna leave? Maybe... something's going on. I can do cut tuck. Oh, isn't that cool? Look at that. We can't even get to the engine starting until he's gone. He just won't leave. For some reason I cannot turn the brakes on. And he won't leave. Just go. Okay, I solved the problem by turning off the Better Pushback plugin. So we are ready. I'm going to now starting my engines. Okay. Start with the right. I'm going to turn our packs off so that we have the duct pressure required to spin the engines up. I am going to turn
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure.
my lights on, which automatically in this sim triggers telling everybody to sit down.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Thank you. And we will throw fuel in. Watch for a hot start or any of the other horrors of... oh, we're good. Of jet engines. I'm also going to set my rejected takeoff on the brake. And start setting my flaps as well. Oh. Right, and let's start the left engine. Of course, my problem there is that I can't put the brakes on, so of course we were starting to creep away. Flaps are in transit. And we are up to 25. Let's throw in the fuel. Exhaust gas temperature looks good. It's not spiking. N1 looks good. Okay, we had a good successful start on both engines. Goes to cont. We'll turn power on. Now we're running on full aircraft power. I'm going to turn my packs back on. I can turn my APU bleed off. I don't need any of the air from that. And I can turn my APU off. Good job, APU. Job done. So, let's have a look. I think we are ready to begin taxi. Our fuel pumps are on. Oh, I know what we've got to do. Let's go up here. I've just got to turn my electric hydraulic pumps on now. I didn't do any of my tests today, but you all, of course, follow the checklists and do the lot, won't you? Thank you. But this is lots of fun for me. Okay, we're all the way over here. We're taking off from 35 left. Is all the way over here. Long taxi. So we better get going. A little bit of power in that. We're moving a bit more, I think. I'm having been to Calgary I haven't been to Calgary in probably 15 years, I reckon, and then in the last month I've flown through there twice, and I have to say this copy of this airport, spot on. There were some of the things that I was looking outside of my WestJet flight and I'm busy pointing going, I recognise that. Ooh, I know where we are. I was geeking out. A lot of the other passengers thought it was pretty sad, but it was awesome. When you can actually get the gist of the real airport from Flight Sim model, I'm really, really impressed. So I guess this is a time in the video where I say please subscribe to the channel if you like what I do, but I haven't done a lot of videos recently. I am taking up more of a managerial position in my company, and it involves a lot more other work, let's say, and I don't always have as much time to fly, which isn't good for my mental health. I need to fly. I've done a lot more real world flying, but that's not the same. I'm not at the front. So still a bit of crappy weather here in Calgary today. But that's okay. There's an air transat. There's one monster of a Lufthansa A380 there. Kind of very sad they cancelled that, but I do understand why. And look, we can just see Calgary in the distance there, all included with the Freeware model to download off explain.org. I'm going to go down the second. You only have to cut across, otherwise it is so flat. Oh my goodness, there's no mountains or anything. How are we doing? We're only doing 12 knots. I'm being very sedate today. Let's see how we turn, how slippery this is. It's not too bad actually. And if you've watched it all so far, I have to say thanks for sticking with me. .24 knots, a little fast, but I'll take it. It's a long way to go. My aim this year is to be brave enough to do that sim. Well, it's not just to be brave enough, you know, I've always struggled with the audio quality, and I'm pretty excited that they're implementing the new codec this year, and if they actually take it for everybody to use, I will be trying out that sim, because I recognise that real world audio isn't that great in the air, but I find their quality just, it's beyond terrible, so I can't understand. I like to be able to understand people. There's I recognised that when I was taxiing about last week. That was kind of cool. Just check where we are. Oh, we're coming across nicely. Is that DHL plane or something there? Are they? Yep, they're busy loading that cargo. I don't want to go down here. I want the next turn off. Get my turn signals going. Hope the audio is not distorting or anything. That would really upset me if I was messing this up. But my rig has not worked for ages. I've been pretty annoyed about that. Look at that, there's the city coming into view. It really does do that as well. It's so flat. You see this blob of skyscrapers on the horizon. And we come. We don't want to come to a halt on a turn. That's not good. Oh, we made it. Now we just have the long journey. We're going to cross a couple of runways here, but we've just basically got the long taxi out to the end of the runway. Yeah, I've had some real problems. I've got an Elgato HD60S external. It kind of takes your HDMI signal out of your PC and encodes it onto a second PC so that I can actually encode my video stream. That's how I do my videos. And my Windows 10 system, of course, has been updated by Microsoft without any choice from me, so...
Approaching 29.
I'm assuming ATC would have let me cross there. Nobody's coming in on that runway. Good. But of course, it updated and it broke things. And my Elgato system does not work very well anymore with Windows, so... About 2 days ago, I actually managed to get it working again. And I have limited time, as I said at the moment, and I actually got it working. I left that PC on for the last 2 days because I wanted to do this flight. So I left my encoding PC on just purely because it works right now. I know if I reboot it right now or I turn it off for the night, it's not going to work tomorrow. I'm going to come up with a blank screen and you won't be seeing a video from me. So I'm still trying to work to fix that. I mean, the worst I could do is maybe install Linux and use it in a Linux environment. I think that's possible, but maybe not. Of course, a lot of the drivers only exist for Windows, so what are you going to do? We are screaming along here. Yeah, 35 knots, yeah. We're way faster than I think we should be, and I'm drifting a little bit. That must be a bit of a crosswind, maybe. So when we get to the end here, I'm going to turn my landing lights on and my taxi lights off. Oops. I'm going to turn my probe to strobe and steady. Oh, and in fact, put them on right now. It's starting to rain a bit heavier rain there. Let's put my wipers on. I would, of course, put my transponder on. Yeah. We'll do that, but of course I haven't got a code. No, I've got no ATC. I will do VATSIM this year. Work permitting. We're going to cross another runway.
Approaching 08.
Yep. Now, of course, there's more stuff up the runway here. I think this is where there's a lot of small companies have their locations up here, including famous ones. I think Kemboric Air is down there. If you don't know who they are, they're a company where when somebody is sick in Antarctica or some other insanely remote location, not accessible by anybody else, they fly their turbo otters and other things into those crazy locations to rescue people and do stuff that nobody else will do. Worth looking them up. I think that might be some of their planes there, actually. The Kemboric Air. I really hadn't heard of them before, even living in Canada, until a few years ago, where they had to do a rescue mission down to Antarctica to fly somebody out, and they flew two of those planes down and then flew in and out. Now, my father-in-law used to fly on those kind of planes when he was actually stationed in Antarctica. Now, I'm imagining ATC would hold us here for a minute. That's what I'm doing. You can still see the city just over there. We're going to be taking off away from it, but then swinging around. Actually, what I didn't show you earlier, which we should have done, was if I go to legs here, this is the legs we're doing. I switch this one up here around to plan, and we click on step there. We can step through the stages and we can see if there's anything that looks odd. So we're going to go down and then swing around at Dunbar and then come back into land. We'll be alright. But what I do is I switch that back away to map. Okay, ATC now cleared us. Probably gave that a bit too much energy there.
Approaching 35
okay.
left.
We're going onto the runway. Landing lights on. Taxi lights off. And let's turn the thrust off. Swing us round. Probed, strobe and steady.
On runway 35 left.
That's a pretty shoddy job of stopping that. I'm going to turn my transponder on. I'm going to let it pull us about straight. Okay, we set RTO, projected takeoff, our auto brake. Our flaps are at 5, like we said they should be. Our trim is dialed in. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Okay, so got my foot on the brakes. I'm going to bring these up and check up to about 40%, check they're balanced. Oops, already gone a bit further than that. They look good. Toga. So don't touch your throttles now. Slight forward stick for me. And rudder to adjust. Airspeed is alive. 80 knots. 80 knots. Bit bumpy. Here we go.
V1.
Rotate. Here it goes. Ease back. Positive rate.
Positive rate.
Okay, yep, good. Gear up. My gear's coming up. We've currently got 3 reds. A little bit of a crosswind there.
400.
They're all locked. Okay. Goodbye. Calgary Airport.
1,000.
Okay, 1,000 feet. Because of course Calgary is at 3,000 feet already. Okay. Can turn that off. I'm imagining ATC is now vectoring us around to the left. There's some pretty almost white looking rain there. round we come. Bring my flaps in. Okay, they're telling me to resume on navigation. VNav, LNav, they both light up, so we're going to be good. And I engage autopilot. Lock my landing gear off. We're already at 7,000 feet. And we're now accelerating to 240 knots. And we're just starting to head into the clouds. Okay, we're slowly climbing out past 15,000 feet. Had a little bit of a mess up there in my recording because I had to do all this outside views. I've spent the last hour recording every other view you can imagine. But then I started to fly and I forgot to record, so we're just climbing out now. We're coming up on 18,000 feet in just a minute and I'll be able to click my standard button. Maybe I'm gonna... We're not quite leveling off, but you know what? I'll give them that announcement, shall I?
Well, folks, for an initial cruise altitude now, it should be a relatively smooth flight. Seatbelt sign is off. Please only move around the cabin when that sign is off, and anytime...
Ah, what a liar. Did you remember earlier that all that turbulence coming up? I think this is going to be a flight where nobody gets to get out of their seat very much. Check the panel, everything looks good. Altitude is set, our packs are on. Nobody's going to pass out today. I've turned my lights off. My heat's on. Well, that almost looks like that could be the alarms there. Laps are off. Trim's going okay. Well, I think we're off for a smooth and steady flight. Broken cloud now. We've come through the storm. If I go back here for this, look at this, and look at that, and then look at that. And I'm just zooming out, use my mouse wheel there. There we go. We can see our flight. We're going way down there. Pretty neat, huh? I like that. I have my charts in there as well. You load these into a folder and then they're available in the flight. What's that now? We're on my 28 right, coming in for San Francisco. We're heading for Denver. And this is cool that you can actually take it out. So if you need the chart somewhere else. Oop, look at that. Look, what I need to do, I'm above 18,000 feet, I forgot to do that. There we go. Reset that. So yeah, you can pick this out. So if you're VR, I guess that's really important. You need to be able to see a chart. I don't. I don't know. They want to track down Pablo Escobar apparently in the back of the plane. I hope he's not on board. I don't know if you heard that, but that was definitely quite clear on my headset. Right, well, we're climbing out. The exciting bit is done. Now we just get to take in the scenery. 2.5 hours. That'll be about... well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at our FMC. So that's now all that's left is the landing part of the for the init stuff. Remember we went through the index there. We've done all of these. They're done. All we've got left is this. So this would be your approach speed based on different flap settings. We're going to do flaps 30. So you select go. Let's put 30 in, and I'll select it. So it's 30, 140 knots. We'll worry about that later though. Got cruise. Climb would have given us climb out information, but we've still got a bit of climb left. Top of climb to TC, 53 nautical miles, so that's given us the time we're going to get there. We've got TC, let's look at this again. Double climb is 52 nautical miles. You can choose whether it's your engine's running on economy, max rate or max angle, depending on what you need. We were running economy. We've got cruise is coming up, and then it'll be 765 nautical miles to top of descent. Quite a flight to go. And the bumpiness has started as we get towards the mountains here. The Rockies, so you know what I'm going to do? Oops. Let me seatbelt sign on.
And switched on. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Oh, I think we're going to call it a day for part 1. I've made everybody sit down for now. You'll join me again for part 2 of this video. Be uploaded probably a day or 2 later, and we'll do our approach into San Francisco. Thanks for watching part 1. Subscribe to the channel if you like it. Click the little bell. If you really like it, you can do the YouTube subscriber thing if you want. You'll get to see my videos 2 days before anybody else, and also hopefully if I can arrange it, you get a free repaint of my Baron 58. If you've seen in my other videos, I'll make that available to anybody who signs up for that. I also tried the Patreon thing, but I mean, who's going to pay for any of those things? I only do videos every so often, but if you're feeling mega rich, go do it by all means, and I would love it, and you will get to see the videos 2 days before everybody else. But thanks for watching part 1. It means a lot to me that people do watch it. And join me again very soon for part 2, where we will get these probably very unhappy customers with this bumpy ride we're going to have for the next 2 hours. We'll get them down safely into San Francisco with this beautiful 737-700 model. Go check out the links below the video to find out where to download 737-700, where to download the CYYC and KSFO, and everything else that I'm using in this video. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you again soon.